Hi, everyone. My name is Katrina, and I thank you for taking the time to attend this webinar, which is on mastering the art of data analysis prompts. Hopefully you can see my screen here. The first thing that I wanted to cover is that it's best to have ChatGPT Plus because that will allow you to have all the add-ons, the Dolly image generation for better generations, advanced data analysis, and also it allows you to upload files instead of having to cut and paste data into the ChatGPT. And it also keeps you updated with all the new cutting edge features that ChatGPT is coming out with. And apart from the differences in various models, a paid subscription gets you access to the latest and greatest ChatGPT stuff, including, again, those data analysis capabilities, which keep getting updated. And right now, the Dolly 3 or 4 power to image generator. And because you're going to be going over this course to learn how to do good data analysis prompts and get the best graphics or visualizations to share the data in various forms, I thought that would be important to mention. And effective data analysis prompts are crucial for small business owners because we might not have access to fancy, expensive consultants or tools that will be able to do this automatically for us. So if we can use the ChatGPT itself and the $20 a month tool with all the bells and whistles that it comes with, that is a very effective alternative. And hopefully I'll be able to help you through this webinar to get to be an expert in using this tool, and you'll be able to get a lot out of it. So data cleaning. I'm sure you've all heard garbage in, garbage out sometime in your life. What you want to make sure you do is have data that is useful to ChatGPT and have it in the format that they can use it or that it can use it. You want to use the proper data for what you're looking to do. You want to upload files that don't have conflicting data. So what I mean by that is you can upload files or you can cut and paste data, or you could upload a file and cut and paste data, for example. But you want to make sure that you don't have two columns that are listed that have the same column title, but conflicting data. If you do, you want to make sure that you delete one of them so that it doesn't confuse the issue. And you also want to make sure that ChatGPT is referencing the data that you want it to reference. You never assume that it knows what it's doing without you asking or telling it where it needs to go for that data. Another thing is you want to make sure that if it stops working, a lot of times it'll just stop and say, hey, we don't have access to that data. You just need to simply upload the files again. Don't panic. It just, for some reason, it can lose touch of the files that you uploaded. You just need to upload them again and you'll be back in the game. No worries. There are different types of analytics, and those are descriptive analytics, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. So descriptive analytics describes what happens over a given period of time. Diagnostic is when you're trying to look at why something happened. It involves more different sort of data inputs and a bit of hypothesizing why something happened, what affected something else. Predictive analytics is where you're trying to figure out what's likely going to happen in the future based on the past or based on the data that you're having it analyze. Prescriptive analytics is when it tells you what action should be taken in the future. So it suggests a course of action. So those are the different types. I can send you those 4 types in a note if you'd like me to as well after this. What you want to do with your data when you enter it is with your prompts, excuse me, is be clear and specific. Clearly state your objective in doing the analysis. Are you looking to improve Customer service. Are you looking to increase sales? For example, you want to say, I want to analyze our sales for the last year to understand how the marketing has affected our year-to-date sales. Or I want to analyze repeat sales data to understand the lifetime value of different customer types. I want to analyze open employee records to understand employee turnover in different departments, things like that. So you want to mention the exact data set that you're looking at, or that you want it to look at, the time period you want it to look at, if it's a specific time period, or the customer segment you want analyzed. So we might want to say, look at the last 2 years, 2 calendar years, or the year-to-date figures. So whenever you enter a prompt, you want to make sure that there's no vagueness. You want to be very specific. You replace, can you give me some insights into the data, with please identify top performing products, or analyze customer churn, analyze employee turnover, things like that. You can also do this little cheat. And when you start to write your prompt, if you're thinking you're not really sure about if it's going to give you the results you want, at the end of it, the end of your prompt, you can put, please act as a prompt engineer and suggest a better version of the prompts that I enter, and let me choose between the original and the one that you suggest before I proceed. And oftentimes what that'll do for you is it'll give you yours, and then it'll give you the options for different ones that it could have used that would maybe give you the results that you want. So you might have missed the fact that you didn't specify the time period, or you didn't specify the reason that you're putting this analysis together. So it'll add that into a prompt and give you maybe a better version of the prompt that you could use that would give you the results you're actually looking for. Hope that makes sense. And you want to focus on key metrics. So are you looking at sales metrics, customer metrics, or operational metrics? So you want to request analysis on revenue growth, or you want to request metrics on sales, conversion rates, click-through rates, whatever that may be. If you're looking at customer metrics, maybe you want to ask for lifetime customer value, I don't know, the product spread, whatever that may be. For operational metrics, you want to include inventory turnover. You want to analyze profit margins. You want to actually make sure that you list specific metrics that you're looking to analyze, which specific metrics, factors, or variables should be analyzed and included. Like focus, so in the prompt, you could say, focus on revenue, or focus on customer demographics, focus on sales trends, focus on profit margins, focus on product distribution, things like that. Next, you want to choose the right visualization type for what you're trying to show. On this slide, we have just a couple of examples. I do have a longer list. It's a lot more detailed, and it has the different types of charts that you could use and the reasons for using those various chart types. On this one, you've got bar charts, which are great for comparing categories. Line graphs are good for showing trends over time, and pie charts, which are good for things like market share, where you've got the entire market and then you show the different portions of what that market is taken up by, for example. So it's good for showing, market share or budget allocation, things like that. What you'd want to do in a prompt is say, what type of chart or visualization would best represent the data? For example, please create a bar chart to visualize year-over-year sales compared with last year. Please create a line chart to visualize XYZ data. So you can ask what type of, or request what type of visualization that you want and the data that you want it to express through that visualization. If you're not sure which will be best for your particular situation, another thing you can do is put in the prompt at that point when you've done your analysis. Act as an analyst and suggest the best type of chart to be used for the data file based on my, my goal, and then allow me to choose the option before creating the graphics. And then that will spit out usually a list of, if you want to use a bar chart, it'll give you, it's best for this purpose. We could create a line graph and it's best used for this purpose, and it would show XYZ. So then it'll show you all the different options. Maybe it'll choose maybe 2 or 3 out of the dozens of options that are out there. It'll say why you would want to choose this one over that one. Desired outcome or insights. So what insight or outcome do you hope to achieve is another thing that you might want to put into the prompt. I want to understand how our business is doing against the market at large. I want to understand the trends in our industry over the past 3 years. I want to understand how our product sales have changed over time, which products are selling more than they used to, and vice versa. I want to understand the correlations between weather and beer sales over the summer, things like that. You can also ask for comparisons or trends, which is a good thing. You can ask for time-based comparisons. You can request year over year or quarter over quarter comparisons, like how did we do this spring compared to last spring? This reveals long-term trends and seasonal patterns in your business. So you can get an idea of how did we do this winter over last winter. Maybe you're trying to figure out how much of your sales, say you're looking at the year and you want to figure out you're not doing very good this year so far against last year's total numbers, and you want to see, oh, the reason is that we did 50% of our sales in the last quarter. And so you're doing fine because you're already at 60% of your sales for the year, that sort of thing. So it reveals long-term trends and seasonal patterns in your business. You can do segment comparisons, so you can ask to compare different customer segments or product categories, and that'll help to identify top performers and areas that need improvement. You can do benchmark comparisons where you request comparisons against the industry at large or your competitors in the market or competitors in the area. This provides context for your business performance. Any specific comparisons or benchmarks that you want to look for, you could put in, compare the results, our results this year to the industry averages. Break down the data by region, product line, and age group, and create visualizations for a presentation that I'm doing to the executive team on Tuesday, something like that. What you want to do also is make sure that you tailor your prompts, I would imagine, for actionable insights. So it's nice to come away with, these are the things that not only do we know what's going on now, so we've done the analysis, we see what's going on, we have the results. Now, what can we do with that? What are the actions we can take as a result of what we've found here? So you can identify opportunities, you can highlight potential areas of improvement, and suggest future actions. And these are all great things that can come out of this process. At the end, you also want to always provide or ask it to please provide a brief summary or key takeaways based on the analysis. Again, one way you can do this is, say you take your position and you're a CMO and you want to get data that you can do in a presentation to the executive team of your company. You might want to put in, act as a CMO, presenting this data to the executive team and create some insights that can be drawn from this data. Or act as a CMO, presenting this data to the executive team, create a list of actions that can be taken to improve the future results. Be brief and summarize in a few sentences, use bullet points where appropriate. So not only do you have the end analysis and the summary of what you've found, but you also can maybe suggest some ideas of how to improve or actions that can be taken to remedy the shortcomings or actions that can take advantage of the good things that you found in there. Like this new product is selling like hotcakes. It's selling way better than our other one. So we should just spend all our budget on this new shiny object, whatever that may be. I will go over these. Here we've got some examples of what some people have put in the past and why why ChatGPT isn't working for them. You cannot put in things like, give me insights on sales. It's not going to know what you're asking. If you put in analyze monthly sales data for Q2 2023 over 2022, that's a good prompt. If you put in just show customer data, that's not going to get you anything. You want to say, create a pie chart of customer segments by age and spending habits. That's going to get you a nice visual that you can use in a presentation. It'll clearly show you what the data shows. What's our performance? What does that mean? ChatGPT is not going to know what that means, what that question means. You're going to want to have to say, compare our Q3 profit margins to industry benchmarks, highlight improvement areas. That's the sort of thing you need to do. Oops, I'm sorry, my camera turned. So let me go over this. Now, this is a list of various prompt segments that you could use. Now, you can use a couple of these or all of these and put them together and create a pretty good prompt that would get you the results that you need. So if you say, I want to analyze, you want to name the specific type of data that you're analyzing to understand, and what are you trying to figure out from this? Now, these prompts can be used together, a couple of them at once, or one at a time, or all together. It just depends on what you're looking to accomplish. Say, I want to analyze specific data type to understand specific insight you're seeking. Please focus on revenue, customer, sales trends, whatever it is you're trying to focus on. And then please create what kind of visualization are you looking for to visualize, and what is the specific aspect of the data you're looking to uncover? What's the purpose? I want to understand what trends, comparisons, correlations, and identify what key patterns, areas for improvement or opportunities. And then you ask it to compare the results to what? Year over year, the competitors, industry averages. What are you looking to accomplish here? Break down the data by what? Region, product line, age group. Maybe you want all of those. And then always, again, ask for a brief summary or takeaway based on the analysis. And then another thing, after you do this analysis and you get the results, you can also always take it to the next step and ask it to make a list of, after the summary, make a list of action steps that you could take, potential actions that could improve in the areas where you need improvement, your company needs improvement. So there you go. And now we're going to jump into ChatGPT.